One way I frame it is this next 30 years will dictate the next 300 years.
What do you own that is unique? What do you have that's uniquely yours? What data do you have? What processes do you have? What assets do you have? That as the tech changes, you can take that data and those assets and put it through the new tech.
Every single person needs to be trained in AI and using these chatbot, auto GPT tools and absolutely augment themselves 10, 20, 100x.
I view what's going on in the business world today similar to the 20-kilometer asteroid that struck the Earth 65 million years ago and wiped out the dinosaurs, right? The asteroid changed the environment of Earth so rapidly, so dramatically, that the slow lumbering dinosaurs who didn't adapt went extinct. And it was the furry little mammals, our ancestors, that were agile enough to adapt that survived and thrived. So the asteroids striking Earth right now are exponential technologies with AI as the overlord there. And it's just going to change the environment so rapidly that you need agility. You need a team that is agile.
Yeah, if you look back in history, maybe 50, 70 years ago, it needed about a 10,000 person company to create $1 billion valuation.
That's crazy.
Right? Then it dropped to about 1,000 people. Instagram was 13 people. Right? Now we'll get it down to 3 people because AI will handle most of the execution work. You'll have a CEO who will drive vision and product, a product guy who will focus just on getting things done, and an operations person that'll handle everything else. And you should just have AI bots doing all the finances, marketing, et cetera, et cetera.
So one of the things I'm doing in the companies that I'm running or advising or investing in is I'm saying, first of all, every company needs to have what I call a chief AI officer. And it's a role I made up, was teaching at Abundance 360 this year. And it is not someone who's building a large language model for you or writing code for you. It's an individual who understands what's going on in the terrain, because we're seeing not hundreds or thousands, tens of thousands of startups. Everybody, you can start an AI company now with literally spare time in your garage. So understanding what's out there, what the modalities are, and what you can and should be using is critical. So your chief AI officer is scanning the horizon, understanding it, and then advising members of your team. So every part of your team, right? There's going to be AI supporting sales and marketing and engineering and HR. We're all going to have, in the near term, an AI co-pilot, right? This is an AI that helps you do your job better because we are so limited as carbon life forms. But ultimately is going to be able to operate and do a number of the things repetitively, because we do a lot of repetitive tasks and AIs are much better at that.
If you have an email newsletter that goes out, use ChatGPT to say, how would I increase the engagement rate with this email? We did that. We got a 25% increased open rate.
Can you feed it the email?
You feed it the email.
Yeah.
And
you say, how do I make this better?
Yeah.
Come up with a better headline.
Or put in social sharing links throughout it. Or say, listen, I'm in HR. Go to ChatGPT. Open it up right now. Hopefully you have the the GPT-4 version of it, and say, I'm in HR. How should I be using generative AI in my business? It'll feed you. Give me 5 examples or 10 examples. Pick the one that sounds good. Give me step-by-step instructions on how to use this. It's it's recursive in that fashion, and so you're going to use AI to help you learn what you want to know. It comes back a lot to mindset, Tom, and you need the mindset of a kid here. Curiosity, absolute play. It's like, one of the things I'm going to be doing in my team, my PhD Ventures that runs Abundance 360 and a few others, we're setting aside 3 days and no homework coming out of these 3 days. We're going to go in with a series of objectives and we're going to actually crank for 3 days and generate all the content, all the plans. And you can, but it takes time for all of us to switch from our old habits of how we do things to new ways. So the first time it's going to take 150% of your time. The next time will take 50%, then 25%.
I think the biggest dark side is malicious use of these technologies, right? Some bad actor says, let's use this to figure out how to stop all the power plants, stop all the medical machines from running and hack them, et cetera, et cetera. We worry a lot about that. We put huge amounts of effort in this, but the data that we have shows that human beings, when given a choice whether to use good or bad, generally almost always pick good. Okay, I'll give you a little study. They did a study when eBay and Craigslist became prominent on, okay, here's an environment for the first time where a human being can easily do a positive transaction or a fraudulent one. Easy to mask my email address, put a MacBook up for sale, a photograph of it, and walk off with $1,000. So what's the actual ratio from good to bad? And after researching this quite thoroughly, they found that across multiple systems like this, Craigslist, eBay, etc., the actual ratio of good to bad was something like 8,000 to 1. Okay? So there's 8,000 positive for each negative. Now, that tells you that when we have a new technology like drones, first response is, oh my God, the drone might be loaded up with C4 and flown into the White House. Let's ban the drones or put chips in there, regulate the hell out of it, etc. And stop the drones or stop autonomous cars or whatever, CRISPR, whatever the AI now is the flavor of the month. Well, what actually we see, if you actually let anybody use it, the data shows that 8,000 people will do the positive thing and one person, and it'll be easy to spot that one person will do the negative thing. The problem is the amplitude of that one is obviously getting much bigger. And so that's of concern. But this has been the same story since the beginning of time. Fire can heat our house and it can burn down yours, biotech problems, etc. And we worry about it. It never actually comes to fruition. And maybe I'm just an optimist, right?
The number one thing that a entrepreneur or a more advanced company needs to do is establish that MTP, that massive transformative purpose. And once that's established, then there's a whole slew of 10 different attributes that allow you to scale and allow you to build something. But in a world where there's this abundance of opportunity, right, where we're drowning in opportunity and your attention is your most important asset here, AI is able to iterate on hardware and software so rapidly that if you announce a new product or a service, someone else has cracked it, replicated it, and provided a better version of it, minutes later. So what happens when intellectual property is useless? Because I don't want to protect myself by having IP rights. I want to protect myself by having the best product available. Things are getting very much faster and better, but it's gonna change the world.